Good morning and welcome back to the road as we are leaving El Calafate in Argentina and heading to Puerto Natales in Chile. It's a beautiful bright sunny morning. Temperature of the dash is reading 17.5 degrees, which is absolutely ridiculous for this place. It's normally much colder than that at this time of year, but spring is well and truly sprung. The weather's beautiful, and town is quite busy even this time in the morning. People coming and going. The group's already gone. There's only Aaron behind me, despite the leave time being 9 o'clock and it now being exactly that. So this is the town where I was in 2009 when Isabel and Rebecca were born, my twin granddaughters. And as we go up here, I'll point out the very bar I was in when I received the message that Laura had finally given birth to my two beautiful granddaughters. But as you can see, the town itself is quite modern. It's quite a backpackery type town. Disappointing there's not as many Ruta 40 t-shirt shots as there used to be, so I've not managed to get myself a t-shirt, which I'm a bit disappointed about. Keep having to look. Just here on the right, there it is. Up there. It's now an Italian restaurant, but that's the bar I was in. There you go. Today's piece of trivia. So now we're going to head out of town. 220-mile day, thereabouts, as we head once again on Ruta 40, mostly all tarmac today, down to the town of Puerto Natales, which is in Chile. Well, I say all tarmac, there's a little bit of dirt road as we go across the border. And that's the stop-off point for the Torres del Paine National Park Loop Road ride, which I probably won't be doing because I did it in March. I've got a few other things to do, but here we are, leaving El Calafate on a beautiful, crisp morning. It's warm actually. Layers that you layer up thinking the weather's going to be a bit colder than it is. But we'll see, because it's forecast to be quite windy today, so we'll see. More of that later. Welcome back to the ride from Calafate to Puerto Natales. Just crossed the low plain you can see to my left. Now we're climbing up over the hills. The scenery is just barren. That's the only word for it, obviously. With the Patagonian winds, everything just gets scoured away apart from these low scrub bushes. And it does end up with quite a barren landscape. It's got a certain beauty to it though, a certain sense of wilderness. There's not much in the way of wildlife. I did see earlier on a little small herd of what were definitely vicuña this time, not guanaco. There were smaller white markings, less on the underbelly and more on the side. So they were definitely vicuñas, but unfortunately I didn't have a camera on so you can't see them. Google it. You'll see what they look like. But here we are. We've got a spectacular view across the plain, back towards Calafate where we started this morning. And we're getting higher. Temperature's dropping down to 13.5 degrees. This is a bit more like what you'd expect. It's still very warm for what you'd expect down here. I would normally expect temperatures in the single figures at this stage of the trip. But we'll take it because it's nice. It's for great riding. Today is just a day for a nice chilled out ride. It's incredibly, what the camera can't convey is just simply the vastness of this landscape. You look across to the left and that mountain range over there is some considerable distance away. Everything's just so on such a scale. It's just beautiful. as I say, there's not a lot of vegetation, not a lot of animal life, at least not what's visible from the saddle of a bike. Sorry, I was distracted. I thought I saw some vicuña back there, but it was just a bush. It's a good thing about these wide empty roads, you can have a proper good look round without fear of colliding with something coming the other way. You get the odd vehicle. Interestingly kicking up dust. I think he just keeps driving off the edge of the road a bit, or it's just the wash bringing the dust up from the gravel at the side of the road. The surface is very good. Lovely smooth tarmac. Down there on the plain you can see the river we were following the other day as we rode into Calafate. Get an impression of where we were and how far away it is. And still we climb. Another one of those camper trucks. On a smaller scale than Baloo, you'll be pleased to know, Simon. They're on 4 wheels rather than 6. You see quite a few of them down here. Those and more rugged 4x4 Mercedes Sprinter camper vans. Which, if I won the lottery, might should be an option. You do get the odd normal camper van as well. The wind's picking up now as we get higher, and also as we get more exposed. It's forecast to be quite blowy today. Certainly that now. There you go. Look at that. Look at the vastness of this landscape. Miles around. Okay, so we're back. We're still on the ride from Calafate to Puerto Natales. Still on the high plain, still battling the wind. Although at the moment the wind is sort of coming from almost from behind us, so it's pushing us along a little bit. Not too bad. Caught up some of the group, so as usual, with Dick, Steve and RBD's group. I've just decided to drop in with them, drop my pace down to theirs, just because there's no rush today. Nice, easy day. The wind, the sun's out. It's very positive. Scanning the horizon for animals, but there's quite a few guanaco now. Yeah, there seems to be more guanacos than anything else. But not at the moment. You can see the wind is a little bit blustery. Nothing too bad at the moment. So we'll just keep trundling along. Trundle. Okay, so now we have a new drama to deal with. We just stopped at the fuel station at La Esperanza. And there's no petrol. So a 221 mile day in heavy wind conditions means that anybody with a small tank isn't going to make it. So there's hopefully going to be fuel at Tapiaiki, which is about 45 miles from where we are at the moment. But there is some doubt about that because that petrol station is very remote. Very small little place and quite often is closed. We have 15 litres of fuel petrol in the van. Spare cans not sufficient to top everybody up because we weren't expecting fuel shortages down this end. It's all been good so far, and that petrol station at Las Esperanza is a big one. So we'll see what happens. Fortunately for me, it doesn't affect me because I've got this big 30 litre tank on the Explorer model, range of well over 200 miles still, with only 115 to go, so it's fine. But I'm sure we'll manage. It's just a case of see whether or not we can get people across the border. Then we can always get fuel from Puerto Natales and fetch it back to the border. But it's going to make an interesting day, because we're now heading more or less into the wind. So we told everybody to take it steady, and we'll see what happens. Or later. Okay, so the latest news on the fuel situation is that Tapayaiki is permanently closed and has no fuel. So we put a splash of fuel from the van into the bikes, and the plan now is to see whether we can get everybody across the border into Chile, where they can sit in a nice cafe there, whilst we send the van down to Puerto Natales to get fuel. So, a bit of an adventure. Well, very exciting. Meanwhile, the ride itself continues to be windy, blustery, through more and more Mamba country, with distant views of snow-capped mountains under a more or less clear blue sky and 14 degrees temperature. So all pretty good, really. Anyway, we shall see what happens next. Tune in to the next exciting instalment of the South America adventure. So we've left the tarmac road now, we're heading towards the Argentine border. The good news is I've still got most of the guys behind me that are running low on fuel, but we've only got about 7 miles to go till we hit the Chilean side. But first we have to get ourselves to the Argentine side, and then there's about 5 miles of no man's land between them. That's the Argentine border post you can see up ahead now. I recognise it from when I was here in March. It is quite windy. Just blowing the bike all over the place. As you can see, yet another dirt road. A smattering of gravel everywhere. Quite a hard surface, most of it, but it's a little bit bumpy, and the wind is doing its usual job of making the riding a bit challenging. Very challenging in actual fact. Put quite a lot of input into the bike to keep it tracking straight. Potholes don't help. But anyway, Argentina exit of Argentina beckons. And then into Chile. Exciting. Okay, so the latest piece of information on Fuelgate is that everybody now has enough fuel to make it to Puerto Natales. We got through the Chilean border without any trouble at all. Pat had located some fuel at the hotel in town, so the guys have all topped up their tanks and everybody's happy. Now we're all going to make it to Puerto Natales, and here we are, we're back in Chile again. We're close to Torres del Paine National Park here, so if I get a chance to get you a view of the fantastic mountain shapes that Torres del Paine is famous for, I'll switch the camera back on again. Just see them peeking over the hillside there. But it's still a beautiful day, a really good day today, really good day's ride. Only 35 miles to the hotel, 2:15 in the afternoon. It's not bad going. So yeah, we're back in Chile. And sometimes we see condors flying alongside these mountains, but I can't see any today. We've seen a few on this trip so far already. So maybe more a little bit later.